known as Cuddles. I have decided to show you guys my way of setting up a very basic setup of the VuhDo. Um, and the reason I have to set it up again is because I actually have reloaded my game. Something happened, I have no idea, and I had to reload the game. So for me to do this, I thought maybe I should just share it with you, and perhaps you might like it as well. So what I like to do is, as usual, when you sign in first and you don't have nothing set up, this is how it shows up. With this big little box, did I just say that? A big box and these two boxes as well, those two rows of boxes as well. So if you go to your, whatever you saved it, this is where I like to keep my add-ons. If you go to your VuhDo, the first thing I like to do is do some sizing. Spells are easy to do, and I'll show you how. But I will do some sizing first. So if you go to general, it's suggested by many healers to select all four of these um, buttons, and if you put your mouse over it, it will tell you exactly what your things are for, what those buttons are for. I then like to go into, like I said, more bigger sizing, and sometimes I like to do it horizontal, which if you pay attention to like this part here, it will turn it sideways. If I choose this panel, it will turn it sideways as well. Sometimes I like to do this mostly in like instances and such, dungeons, raids, for example. I don't know. I'm not sure it's really good idea, but you can try. It never hurts to try. But for right now, to set it up, I'm just going to leave it as normal as it's supposed to be. Let's see here. This panel. And for each panel to work on, you actually have to make sure that it's blinking kind of like yellowish. If it's steady like this and it's grayed out, you're not working on this part at all. Now, I kind of went a little too far before I explained everything. Alright, so you have those two boxes that you received, those two panels, actually, kind of three, but two panels. We don't necessarily need, let me go back, we don't necessarily need these two panels, but I will create another one because I would like to have it separate. Okay, so yes, we do need it for future, but I like them separate, not together. And so I'm going to remove these two. And then I'm also going to remove by clicking on X here. This is for pets. Hunters and all other classes that have pets can heal their own. And plus, if you have HOTS that heal over time, it will heal the pets as well. So now that we have done that, I'm going to click on this Add New Panel little cross or plus, and I will click on the little plus next to the panel, which will bring this options out, and then I will do the same thing one more time, and then we'll set up the panels. Click on a plus under Add New Panel. You will click on another plus right here where the panel is. Let me move it so you can see it better. you will click here on the plus, which will bring this box as well. Okay, so now that we have set up 3 boxes, right? As you can see, I just want you to see the boxes, that's all. We're going to go back, and with this right now, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave it as is here. But these 2 boxes, we're going to change things on, okay? So if you click here on the choose button, and then under the group drop down box, you will click on the arrow, select special, and then click on the arrow and select NPC. It is right here. NPC. Okay? Then you will leave that alone for a second. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're supposed to click OK to save it. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing here, except that we're going to change one thing. So you're going to click on choose. You're going to click on group, drop down box, special. We're going to click on, well, actually it's already there. If you click on here, you would have to find the main tank and leave it as it, or you leave it as is if it says main tank here. Then we're going to click OK, like we didn't do here. OK, and that will set up our main tanks and our NPCs. Now, the reason I keep this NPC here is because, like, in the raid especially, there is a few NPCs that we need to heal. So the NPC health will pop up here, and it's easy for you to use all of your spells that you set up for a regular raid group to heal. You can heal it as well here. So you don't have to set up nothing separate, which is freaking awesome. It's fantastic. Okay, and then as far as the tanks goes, sometimes in a raid, if you go, I mean, there's a setting here that you can set up of which order you want them to be. But I personally like better to separate tanks so that I can pay a little more attention to them. That way, I'm safe, they're safe. So, okay, so now that we have done that, everything here has been completed as far as the choosing and all of that good stuff. Now, we don't have to click OK until we're done. So what we can do here is go to panels on the bottom. As you can see, panels is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th button. Panels, okay? Here's where you can select horizontal if you like. If not, you just leave it as it is, if that's how you prefer it. And then we're going to go to sizing. This is my personal preference. You can do it as however you like it. Make it as big as in small. I mean, I'm being serious. Like, you can make it as big as in small as you like it to be, as you can see. So, so me personally, I like them kind of small-ish. Not too small, but small-ish. So I'm going to keep them just like that. Okay? I don't like no gaps in here. There's absolutely no reason for it. And I also like to click here. It scales the panels. So I like that. It makes it nice and neat and tight. Then we're going to go down to the bar tab. The bar tab is going to show us bar textures, or is going to show us custom settings. I basically leave most of it as is. The default is great. There's not much to change, but you always want to make sure that something didn't move by accident or anything like that. So basically, you want to go to bars, and when you get to the bars, you just want to make sure that the class color is selected. You can move those bars all the way to the side, which kind of makes the line, this bar here, makes it kind of nicer and neater. Okay, so we're gonna go to the tab that's down with the bars. The tab headers. We're gonna go to the spacing and the size. I personally don't like any spacing because it takes up more space, but you can keep it as the way you like it. So I'm gonna cut that off completely. This is my personal preference. But like I said, you can leave it the way you like it. I don't like to see any text here. You saw a second ago there was a group one. I don't like to see that period, so I kind of wipe it off completely. Let me see it on 3. Okay. The only reason I left it on 3 is because I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there is a little like a bar here that you can basically grab and move this the way you want. You can put it here, you can put it here. I mean, you can put it anywhere, honestly. All right, so I think my box looks good. I'm not going to work on it anymore. So I'm going to go to the panel with NPCs and go back to the general. Now, the only one that I will make horizontal is this one. Only because I can hide it easier. So that if I'm going in through instances, I'm going through dungeons, mythics, instances and dungeons, it's the same thing, I promise. But if I go through mythics or if I go through questing or anything like that, it doesn't bother me. It's simply whatever else you do besides raiding, it's still going to pop up, it's still going to be there, but you just want to kind of push it aside because you're not going to be using it as much as you are going to be using it. I believe on a couple of bosses you have to heal in Shadowlands dungeons. So that's why we have this. If you're not a raider, don't even worry about it. You don't have to make this, period. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing we did with this one, except it's horizontal, so it's going to look a little different, but it's going to be the same. So as far as the sizing goes, again, I don't like the gaps because it just takes up more space. I will make it a little smaller. Okay, let me make it a little bigger. Okay, and then this I will pull up a little bit. Therefore, it's just nice and neat and straight. Nothing to worry about there. Then we're going to go to the bars and do exactly the same thing. Make sure the class is there. Why? I don't know, because honestly, I have always seen the bosses be like yellowish or maybe a little darker yellow. Okay, so then we're going to slide the sides and then leave it as is. Then we're going to go to here, to headers, to get rid of this, I don't even, where it says NPCs, the group number, I really don't need to see it, so I'm going to shut it off. And the text size, I'm just going to leave it at 2 or 3. That's it. And that's all we are going to do here. Like I said, I'm just trying to explain the basics. The basics of the basic, and this will get you going and actually work pretty fine. Okay, so now that we have done that, I am going to grab this and I'm going to put it right here where I usually leave it, right there. That's done and set. I don't need to do anything with that anymore. The panel 2 is basically our tanks. So sizing it is easy. Go to general. I'm going to leave it as these are. I'm going to go to sizing. I'm going to make it smaller. Do it a little more. Okay. I'm going to make it by eye because we don't have a tank, so now we don't really see. We don't need the gaps, but we already done this once. So, and just a tad of this, like somewhere around 0.95. Alright, and then we're going to do the same exact thing as we did before with those 2. We're going to make sure the class color is on. It's important to know. Then slide those two. We don't really need it. Then go to the headers tab. If I'm going too fast, slow me down. Headers tab, we're going to select that. We're going to put this on 3, the text size. So basically right now it looks kind of just like this. If we had a 10, it will show exactly the box it would show here. So now, because I'm not doing anything with this anymore, I'm just going to push it aside a little bit and start working on my healing. Okay. Now that we're done with that, you can click apply to all so that everything is saved. And then go to the second tab, which is spells.
Cut out with Cutwater, America's most awarded canned cocktails.
Okay. So now, when you get to the spells, usually those are pre-filled. The left button, right button of your mouse, and this is the mouse keys, the mouse buttons. And so some people have mouse buttons like 15, 16 mouse buttons. Some people just have normal mouse buttons. So like this one will take as much as 16 spells in just a regular mouse button. Pressing no keys on a keyboard and using just a regular mouse buttons. So I usually try to set it up my own way. Let me put this aside because I'm going to need, I'm going to just put that there. I'm going to put that there. And I am going to open my spell book. Why am I opening my spell book? Is because a lot of people type in the spells and then misspell it and they have to go back, see what it's spelled like. I don't really like doing that. My way is just drag and drop, basically. So under this button where it says modifier key, we're going to select none. And then the very first left button, as you can see, it says left button, make this bigger. Okay. As you can see, it says left button right there. We're going to put the very first spell that we would use to heal somebody. So, and this is again your preference, how you like it to set it up. You can modify it, edit it, however you like it. I am used to it this way, so I'm just going to show you what I do. But you can later modify it your own way and set it up the way you like it, like I said. Here, I am going to put renew. And this is, you just click on it, hold it, and drag it. Don't let go of the mouse, and there you go. It's going to say renew. Here, I'm going to leave the heal, because that is how I would like it to be. And then my middle button, like say for example, you only have 3 buttons to deal with. This is what I'm doing, the simple way. And I like it simple. I'm going to delete these 2. So the simple way is 3 buttons. So I'm going to keep those 2 spells there. My middle button is my roll button. So I'm going to put, say, this there. Okay? Because I like it. So drag and drop. So I don't want to use any other buttons, but you can. Absolutely. Nobody's stopping you. As long as you can remember which button is what, that's great. And then once you fill that part up and you need more buttons, you will click on, say, shift. What this means is basically the way you're gonna cast a heal on a person, you're gonna push and hold shift, and then do either left button, whichever spell you put here, or the right button, with push and hold shift and then click the right button, or you're gonna do push and hold shift and click on the middle button, right? So it's really that easy. Um, let's see, what would I like to put here? Let me see. I would like to put there, how about this? Okay, and then I'm gonna put da, 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 da. um hmm, that's damage. I mean, it's not bad to have a damage spell, but no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna put this there, and then I'm going to put. So we have Renew Heal Prayer, Circle of Healing, Prayer of Healing. Sorry, I have to remind myself what I'm doing. This is not something I want to do there yet. So actually, no, I'm gonna put Divine Time right there as the middle button. And then once you're done, we fill it up as many as you like to fill. Here, you might go to Control. What that means, again, is push and hold Control and left click, right click, middle click the button, depending on which spell you left in these spaces. As many spaces as you're using. I'm going to clear those two because I'm not going to be using it. And then for the rest of it, I will drop. Yes, I did. Okay. So I did this in Heim, and then I'll do this here instead. No, I just messed up right there. Okay, so Control, because we already have Prayer of Healing, so I'm going to do Prayer of Healing this, and I'm going to do Guardian Spirit. I'm going to do I'm just going to leave it as that for right now. Okay. And then if you still have more spells and you don't have buttons available, or you already done, you can go to Alt. Same thing. You push and hold Alt, and then you go through your buttons. Being that I am not going to be using 4 and 5, I'm just going to clear it. And let's see what else I could put there. No, I'm going to leave this as a spell in the bar. Let's see if I'm missing something. Yes, I am. Okay. So this is my Covenant ability, which is great. So I'm going to place that on the number 1 left button with Alt. So hold Alt, left click. And then I'm going to place Flash Heal right there. And I'm going, because Flash Heal is very expensive when it comes to mana. So this is just like, again, this is just me and how I like to do it. It doesn't mean you have to do it. And on the middle button, I'm just gonna leave Power Word Shield as it is. So now that we have done all of that, we don't have to do nothing else. You can, which I'm going to do, but I'll edit it later so that I don't take up your time. Once you're resurrecting somebody, you can announce resurrection. with VuhDo, the name VuhDo here, as you can see it right there, is replaced by the name of the character that the person that you're resurrecting. So, I mean, you can do whatever you like here. You can say whatever you like to say. And then cast mass resurrection. You can say whatever you want to say, but make sure that that button is checked. If you don't want to say anything, just want to uncheck the button and you'll be okay. But I just wanted to point that there is an option for that. Once we've completed all of that, we are basically done. I will have another video with little more details of what else is possible to be done, but this is basic little tutorial or guide through VuhDo, because I have been trying to figure this out for so long that that I decided, there is possibly somebody out there that just had as much issues as I had, and that is going to need to see this. Now, I'm a new streamer. I'm not perfect. I'm not a professional. I played this game since 2007. So forgive me for not being all professional-like, but I'm very real and very laid-back person. So if you need any questions, have any questions, need any help with anything, please feel free to drop me a line, because I always love to help. I don't mind helping at all. Send me a message, or just leave me a comment with a question. I'll be very happy to help. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and then follow on. Well, I have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to. It's under MzSnow, like Ms. Snow, but instead of an S, it's a Z. So Ms. Snow, #1, and then that would be Twitch, and on YouTube I'm under MzCuddles, MzCuddles, as you can see on top of the screen here, and you can see also right here as well. Now we're going to press OK, and we are done. So let's test this. Let's test it. Sometimes I have a hard time moving it too. Alright, so what we did is we did the renew first. So I'm going to cast the renew by left clicking inside of the box. If we had a full group of 20 people and you see a person losing health, that's the box you're going to be clicking in to heal a person. So now, for example, it depends on your healer, depends on what type of a healer you are and which spells you're using, right? Is the spells that you're going to be using here. And lower this a little bit, and go to spells, second tab, and you're going to see here, like under none. None means that you're not using your computer, not the computer, but your keyboard for anything. That means that it's simply a mouse click, unless you have a big mouse and you can use your mouse only for healing. That's great. Hey, good for you. But I don't. I have only a few mouse buttons, and I love it that way because it's not as confusing to me. So under none, we have renew, like I showed you. So you left click, and then we have a heal. As you can see it right there, it says heal. Let me do that one more time. See heal. Okay. And then under the middle button, which is my roll button, is prayer of mending, which is exactly what it just did. And then we have under shift. So I'm going to push shift and hold it. And the very first thing should be circle of healing. Exactly what it is. Prayer of healing. Shift, right click, divine hunt. It's exactly what it is, and it's my middle button with holding the shift button. Again, If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. If you want to ask me something privately, please do send me a message privately. I am happy to help with anything that you have a question about, even about the game. I like I said, I love helping people and I love playing this game. So don't hesitate. Again, subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow me here so you don't miss out on the next or future videos. I love y'all. Thank you, and I'll see you soon, okay?